Combat in Book of Skulls is dynamic. Each character can perform various moves called arts to defeat their foes and gain advantages in battle. To start, the word Slayers typically includes Slayers, Conjurations and Guardians, unless the art specifically excludes one. These types of characters are all heroes. Pay close attention to the cards and the move text for clarity. During combat, each Slayer has access to 4 distinct arts: a battle art, status art, power art, and an elemental art. The battle art is a basic attack. Successfully executing a battle art increases the Slayer's rage bar, which will grant a bonus later on. The status art focuses on health recovery or applying buffs to the Slayer and their allies. The power art is a special move that deals significant damage or effect. The success of this attack can be influenced by the Slayer's rage bar. Then there's the elemental art, executed by rolling the elemental dice. Every being of Eragoth is attuned to one of the 7 elements. Slayers tap into this power, channeling their elemental affinity during combat to unleash attacks. But it's not just about the element they wield, it's about how they combine it with others during combat. Simply put, if the damage result of the dice roll is positive, it deals damage to the targeted demon. If negative, damage is dealt to the Slayer instead. Like battle arts, successfully executing the elemental art also increases the Slayer's rage bar. Now for an example. Ava, a Slayer of Earth element, draws upon her Earth affinity and Earth is strong against Frost. She rolls the elemental dice to see how her attack will fuse, and she rolls Frost, which results in the best outcome and the highest damage to her targets. However, not all fusions are beneficial. Inferno has an advantage over Earth, and fusing Earth with Inferno results in a negative outcome as the destructive fires overwhelm Ava, causing harm to her instead of the demon. Negative elemental fusions can be dangerous, costing Slayers precious health. A Slayer's rage bar tracks a Slayer's rise in anger and power. As the Slayer lands successful battle and elemental arts, the rage bar fills by 1 square. Once it's full, the Slayer gains an automatic bonus, reducing the roll criteria for their power art by 2. So for example, a roll of 8 becomes 6. Once full, a rage bar in battle triggers this bonus automatically. Attempting a power art will always reset the rage bar regardless of whether the attack is successful. This means the Slayer will need to build it up again for the next opportunity. But please note that attempting a power art before the rage bar is full has no effect and it does not reset. One key detail, when switching to a Guardian, the rage bar progress is paused. Guardians do not benefit from or contribute to rage bar progression. However, the rage bar can be transferred between a Slayer and their conjurations. In Book of Skulls, a critical hit is known as a Slayer Strike. If a Slayer rolls a 12 whilst executing their power art, it triggers the Slayer Strike, allowing the Slayer to immediately attempt the power art again, targeting the same demon with the same roll criteria. This allows the Slayer to execute 2 arts in a single turn, doubling their potential damage. Not all power arts trigger a Slayer Strike, but those marked with the Slayer Strike symbol have this added benefit. Each Slayer also possesses an ability, which is either always active or requires specific conditions to trigger. The ability adds an extra layer of strategy and should always be considered when planning your next move. Conjurations and Guardians are powerful allies in combat. They temporarily step in for the Slayers, offering unique abilities and tactical advantages. Here's how they function. Conjurations are temporary allies summoned by some Slayers. During combat, they function the same as the Slayers themselves, but with a few key differences. Conjurations are summoned via the respective cards. Tamriel summons Azil, Cain summons Panthera, Ballo and Drakon, Lydia summons Cultus Vulturus, Cultus Dragonus and Cultus Imperius. Once summoned, conjurations have the same structure as Slayers, including battle art, status art and power art. However, conjurations do not have access to the Slayer's elemental arts or abilities. However, they do share the same rage bar progression with their associated Slayers, meaning any progress made with the Slayer's rage bar is carried over when switching between the Guardian and the Slayer. The Spirit Box is a combination of symbols at the top of each Guardian card. Slayers fill their Guardian Spirit Box with spirit emblems and, when completed, the Guardian is summoned. Slayers collect these spirit emblems during combat and events to unlock the combination needed to summon their Guardian. During combat, every turn before selecting an art or an item, the Slayer rolls their spirit dice. Depending on the roll, the Slayer collects spirit emblems, which are used to unlock the combination required for summoning a Guardian. Once the Spirit Box is filled, the Slayer immediately summons the Guardian by switching their Slayer card to the Guardian card. Once a Guardian is summoned, the Slayer's turn continues with the Guardian's card. This transition is known as Guardian Tethering. The summoned Guardian remains in play for at least the duration of the current encounter and the following encounter. unless specific abilities extend their stay, such as the Everlasting Spirit ability. Guardians have their own set of battle art, status art and power art. However, they do not have access to the Slayer's elemental arts or rage bar. The rage bar is paused whilst the Guardian is in play, but resumes where it left off when the Slayer returns to combat. A Guardian's elemental type takes precedent over the Slayer's. For example, if the Slayer is a frost element, the Guardian will automatically be classified as light, which overrides the Slayer's elemental affinity. When switching from Slayer to Guardian, the HP is transferred. For example, if the Slayer has 250 HP when they switch to their Guardian, the Guardian will also have 250 HP. However, if the Guardian takes damage, it will affect the Slayer when they revert back to their card. If a Guardian is defeated during an encounter, the Guardian is removed from the game and placed in the discard pile. The Slayer will return to combat with 50 HP remaining and will no longer roll their spirit dice. The breakdown bar tracks a party bonus for the Slayers and a bonus for the boss. Fill the breakdown bar by undertaking specific actions in combat. Once the breakdown bar is full, players can choose when to use it. It will either use up one Slayer's turn or a turn for the boss demon. First of all, reduce the counter back down to its starting point, and then roll the elemental dice. This will add one of 6 effects to your attack. After the effect is established, all Slayers roll a d6 or a d12 with a Guardian, and the total number multiplied by 10 is damage dealt. For example, if each Slayer rolls a 2, this comes to a total of 8, which becomes 80 damage. For the Slayers, the breakdown bar is reset after the end of their 2 overworld turns. For the boss demon, it is reset after combat concludes. And for both teams, executing an elemental breakdown will reset the breakdown bar. In Book of Skulls, demons are the formidable enemies, or when controlled allies of the players, capable of executing a variety of actions. Let's explore how to use them and manage these powerful entities. Demons wield 1 to 3 arts, which may inflict damage, heal, alter status, summon allies, or a combination of these effects. Some demon arts may require specific dice rolls or status conditions to activate. Understanding these requirements can make or break a battle when demons are in play. The cornerstone of demon control lies in demon coins, the game's most valuable resource. Demon coins are essential for summoning demons into combat, but first here are some notes. Demon coin value. Each demon level has a set cost in demon coins. Each encounter type, standard or brutal, has a cap on how many demon coins can be spent. You may only ever have up to 4 demons in combat simultaneously. When summoning, spend demon coins and draw demons randomly, face down based on their level and element. Demon coins are primarily earned during Slayer-controlled phases by opening chests or defeating demons. Demon coins are the reward for standard, brutal, and set encounters. Demon coins are required for summoning demons during encounters initiated by event cards. However, demon coins are not needed for boss battles and set encounters as outlined in the campaign walkthrough. When an event card triggers an encounter, summoning at least 1 demon is mandatory even if resources are scarce. If you are out of demon coins, fear not, as a single demon will still appear. For standard encounters, roll a d6. A roll of 1 to 3 summons a level 1 demon, whilst 4 to 6 summons a level 2 demon. For brutal encounters, again roll a d6. 1 to 2 will summon a level 1, 3 to 4 summons a level 2, and 5 to 6 summons a level 3 demon. Combat in Book of Skulls is a structured, yet dynamic process. Let's walk through the essential steps from preparation to resolution. Before the battle begins, both teams prepare their strategies. For the team controlling the demons, they decide how many demon coins to spend and select demons randomly. Additional demons cannot be added after the encounter starts unless summoned via a summoning art. Also note that multiple copies of the same demon are not allowed in one encounter unless via an art. If in a boss battle, both Slayers and boss demons can spend demon coins to boost their breakdown bar, with each coin adding 1 square. Slayers assign buffs and debuffs first, followed by the demons. Each character can only assign 1 card and only have 1 card assigned to them, and the decisions made by the Slayers cannot be overruled by the demons. Once these choices are made, the teams are ready to determine the order of combat. To establish the initiative, team captains roll a d12. The team with the higher roll moves first and is designated Team A. If there is a tie, re-roll until a clear winner is determined. Combat unfolds in rounds, alternating between Team A and Team B. Each character gets 1 move per round unless a special event allows otherwise. A move is defined as selecting and executing an art or using an item. Every character must attempt to move each round. Skipping a turn is not allowed unless they are unable to act, such as being affected by shackles or multiple cooldowns. If no arts or items can be used, the turn is effectively skipped, but you do not need to consume an item just to move. Before moving in combat, Slayers will roll their spirit dice to gather spirit emblems. Players manage HP and items on their character sheets, the Slayer's rage bars on their cards, and breakdown bars throughout the battle. Combat concludes in one of three ways. Either one team is completely eliminated, the Slayers flee using a potion of Lightfoot, or an event dictates the encounter's end. For the defeated characters, add their cards to the discard pile. If victorious, Slayers earn gold, demon coins, or other treasures depending on the encounter. Whether it's a narrow escape or a triumphant victory, every combat encounter leaves its mark. Prepare, fight smart, and make every turn count.
So now we're going to put everything that we've learned together and see what an overworld turn would look like. So at the start of my turn, I've got my encounter and action cards. Let's put them down there. Roll for navigation, I've rolled a 5. So I move my standee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just go down here. And then I have a choice of using my encounter or my action card first. Let's do the action. See what we've got. It's an Everlight Nebula. So this adds a single-use item which does 100 damage to one demon. So this will definitely come in handy later, I am sure. So that's done, and that's the end of my first turn. On to my second turn. Roll 2, 1, 2. Play my encounter card, which is a standard encounter. So this allows my opponent to spend up to 6 demon coins. Let's keep it really simple and say that they've summoned 2 level 1s. So we've got a Cultus Infernus, and we have an Eragoth. So the Eragoth is the Eragoth equivalent of a spider, but a pretty nasty spider at that. Then before combat starts, we have the option of using any buffs and debuffs. Now, from the example earlier, I've got this damage up. Level 1, let's apply it to Eragoth to add an additional 20 damage to any attacks. And then we go into rolling for initiative, which is called the aggressor roll. So I rolled an 11, let's say the other team have rolled a 7, so I can go first. And because I've won the aggressor roll, I can then add some points as per the battle bar rules. So let's quickly run you through my team. I've got Ava, Eragoth, Rose, and Emil. Not the most apex team, it's just a team I picked at random, so there's no created cheat code going on here. And before Ava will be selecting her move, we'll be rolling the spirit dice. So I've rolled a symbol of Ram, which I actually have already got, but if I didn't have that, I'd be adding that to the card. And then I'm going to go for their move, Jewel Reaper. So I've rolled a 5 and a 2. So based on the tiered damage, that's going to give me 65 damage. And let's do that on Eragoth, bring them down from 100 to 35. And then because it's Ava's battle art, I'll be increasing my rage bar. And now that's max. So let's give the power art a try in the next round. Over to Eragoth. As I say, we've got damage up there as well. So let's first of all roll the spirit dice. I do not need that one. So let's try the move Shadow Striker. The Shadow Striker will do 50 damage regardless, plus the 20 that I've got here with my damage up. Let's see if we can get the extra, and I do, so 6. So that's going to be 120 damage. Let's do it all on Eragoth. That's thoroughly defeated now. And for defeating a demon, we also earn some more points. Moving on to Rose. Roll for Spirit. Don't need that one. And now on Cultus Infernus, let's go with my base move Hunter. And based on my roll criteria, do a certain level of damage. So I've rolled a 4, which is Graze damage. So it'll be 20 damage to the Cultist, brings them down to 115. And I've increased my rage bar by 1 as it was my battle art. And then finally with Emil, I don't need that spirit, but let's do their base move Spark, which has no additional roll criteria of 35. So it's another 35 damage done to Cultist Infernus. And I'll be moving up my rage bar as well. Round to Cultus Infernus, they have 2 arts to pick from. Let's go with Dagger. This is a nice straightforward one, 35 damage. Let's do that back to Emil actually. Why not 35 for 35, which will bring Emil down from 300 damage down to 265. Back round to Ava. Before we pick our move, we roll in our spirit dice. We need this one. So that's added. And then because my rage bar is full, if I attempt to go for Falling Star, it will reduce my roll criteria from 7 down to 5. So let's use the bonus and roll a dice. It's a 12. Okay, so I didn't need the bonus in the end, but this has also led on to something else. So I'm going to do 120 damage because I've succeeded, or 5+ in this case, it would have been a 7+. That's 120 damage, which has defeated Cultus Infernus. But because I've rolled a 12, this has also unlocked the Slayer Strike as well. So let's go for it again, see if I get extra one. No, a 3 on the second attempt. But if I'd rolled a 5+ because I had the bonus, that would have been a further 120 damage, so that would have been great. So we defeated both of them, and now we're going to be increasing our bar some more. So 4, executing my power up, we increasing the bar by another 3, and then because I defeated another demon, we're going to buy another 5. So I've actually managed to max out my battle bar within a round and a bit of combat. Now, there's a very good round that we had there. If we were playing a more challenging set of opponents, this would be a really advantageous place to be in, so we can now unleash a full team attack. But anyway, that concludes my turn. We'll be burning these cards, and it'll be over to my opponent to have their turn.
I've covered demon coins and gold already, which are the standard rewards for defeating non-boss demons. Defeating bosses doesn't result in demon coins and gold. Instead, Slayers receive 7 rewards, the most important of these being boss souls, which is a prerequisite for reaching the end of the game. When a Slayer's HP drops to 0 and they are not revived before the encounter ends, they are considered defeated. Here's how to handle the situation. If every Slayer in the team is defeated, the game transitions to Slayer vs Demon mode. From this point onward, the team who no longer has their Slayers only controls the demons to continue gameplay. To manage the scenario, refer to the rulebook for Slayer vs Demon rules, and consult for guidance on what to do if the team no longer possesses demon coins. A defeated Slayer may be revived during the same encounter by using an art or item. However, if the encounter concludes before the Slayer is revived, the opportunity is lost. Upon revival, the following penalties apply. The rage bar is reset, any collected spirits are removed, and buff cards previously assigned to the Slayer are considered used and must be returned to the deck. If the Slayer's Guardian did not activate the sacrifice, the Slayer will reunite with their Guardian without any additional penalties. If an archer is defeated and not revived, the party retains their current bow for future use. In the perilous continent of Eragoth, not every battle has to be fought to the bitter end. Sometimes retreat is the wisest option. Here's what you need to know about fleeing from encounters. To escape an encounter, Slayers must use a Potion of Lightfoot. This item allows the team to disengage from combat swiftly and without consequence to their health. Slayers have the option to flee from the following encounters. Standard encounters, these are the everyday skirmishes. Brutal encounters, even in the heat of the most intense battle, retreat is possible. And set encounters, which are the predetermined encounters stated in the walkthrough. However, there are moments where there is no turning back. Slayers cannot flee during a boss battle. These climactic encounters must be resolved through to victory or defeat. When the Slayers flee from an encounter, combat ends immediately, allowing the Slayers to regroup and plan their next move. There are no rewards such as gold or demon coins granted to either team from a fled encounter. Fleeing could be a strategic choice, preserving your team for the more critical battles that lay ahead. Choose your fights wisely and always keep a Potion of Lightfoot in your inventory.